The year was 2008. The world watched as financial institutions buckled, trust evaporated, and the global economy teetered on the brink. Banks that were once pillars of stability now seemed like fragile glass houses. People felt powerless, their financial lives controlled by a system that seemed too big to fail, yet almost did. It was a moment of profound disillusionment, a widespread whisper, asking if there was another way. Could we build a system of value and exchange that didn't rely on these fallible intermediaries, on human trust that could so easily be broken? From the depths of this economic turmoil, a radical idea emerged. A mysterious figure, or perhaps a group, known only as Satoshi Nakamoto, unveiled a proposal for a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It was a vision for Bitcoin, a digital currency designed to operate without any central authority, no bank, no government, no single point of control. It was a bold declaration, almost defiant in its simplicity, yet profoundly complex in its execution. The goal was to create a digital form of money that could be sent directly from one person to another, anywhere in the world, secured by cryptography, not by trust in an institution. At the heart of this revolutionary system lies an ingenious invention called the blockchain. Imagine a public ledger, like a giant, communal accounting book. But this isn't just any ledger. It's a digital one, distributed across thousands of computers around the globe. Every transaction, every exchange of Bitcoin is recorded as a block of data. Once a block is filled, it's cryptographically linked to the previous block, forming an unbreakable chain. This chain is permanent, transparent, and immutable. Think of it as a historical record of every single financial event, etched in digital stone, visible to anyone, yet impossible to alter or erase. It's like a town where every citizen keeps a copy of the official history book, and whenever a new page is added, everyone updates their copy. To change a past event, you'd have to rewrite every single book, on every single shelf, in every single home, which is virtually impossible. This distributed nature is what gives cryptocurrency its power. Instead of a single bank holding all the records, the blockchain operates on a principle of decentralization. There's no central server, no headquarters, no single entity making the rules or holding the keys. The network itself is the authority. When you send Bitcoin to someone, that transaction is broadcast to the entire network. Thousands of independent participants, often called nodes, verify its legitimacy. They check if you actually own the Bitcoin you're trying to send, making sure you can't spend the same money twice, a problem digital cash always faced. This collective verification replaces the need for a trusted third party. It's a bit like a crowdsourcing the truth, where the majority consensus determines what's valid. But how do these transactions get added to the blockchain? This is where the concept of mining comes in. Bitcoin mining isn't about digging for gold. It's about solving incredibly complex mathematical puzzles. These puzzles are designed to be difficult to solve, but easy to verify. Miners, using powerful computers, compete to be the first to solve the puzzle for a new block of transactions. The winner gets the privilege of adding that block to the blockchain and, as a reward, receives newly created Bitcoin. This process, known as proof of work, secures the network by making it extremely expensive and energy-intensive for any single entity to try and manipulate the ledger. It ensures that the communal history book stays accurate and true, page by page. For the everyday user, interacting with cryptocurrency happens through digital wallets. These aren't physical wallets you carry in your pocket, but software programs that hold your cryptographic keys. Each wallet has a public address, like an email address, which you can share with others to receive funds. But the true magic lies in your private key, a secret string of letters and numbers. This private key is like the unique signature that proves you own the cryptocurrency associated with your public address. It's what allows you to authorize transactions. Lose your private key, and you lose access to your funds, much like losing the only key to a digital safe. It's a powerful tool, granting absolute control, but also demanding absolute responsibility. In its early days, Bitcoin was an obscure digital curiosity, primarily known to tech enthusiasts and early adopters. Its value was pennies, its utility largely unproven. Yet it slowly gained traction, finding niches in online marketplaces and cross-border remittances. Its journey wasn't always smooth. It faced skepticism, technical challenges, and even association with illicit activities, highlighting the dual-edged sword of its decentralized, permissionless nature. But the underlying technology, the blockchain, proved resilient, a testament to Satoshi's elegant design. Then came Ethereum, a different kind of blockchain, launched in 2015 by Vitalik Buterin and his co-founders. While Bitcoin aimed to be digital cash, Ethereum envisioned a global computer, a platform that could host not just currency, but any kind of decentralized application. This introduced the concept of smart contracts. Imagine a traditional contract, but one that can execute itself automatically when certain conditions are met, without human intervention. For instance, a smart contract could automatically release payment to a supplier once a shipment is verified as delivered, or refund a ticket buyer if an event is canceled. These self-executing agreements, written directly into code on the blockchain, opened up a whole new universe of possibilities beyond simple transactions, giving birth to what many call programmable money and decentralized finance. The success of Bitcoin and Ethereum inspired a Cambrian explosion of innovation. Thousands of other cryptocurrencies, often called altcoins or tokens, emerged, each with different features, goals, and use cases. Some aimed to be faster, more private, or more energy efficient than Bitcoin. Others focused on specific industries, like supply chain management, digital identity, or gaming. This vibrant ecosystem began to show the world that cryptocurrency wasn't just a fleeting fad. It was a foundational technology capable of reshaping industries and challenging long-held assumptions about ownership, trust, and value. It became a bustling digital metropolis, with countless new projects building on the bedrock of decentralized technology. Of course, the journey has been far from flawless. The world of cryptocurrency is often characterized by extreme price volatility, making it a wild roller coaster ride for investors. The energy consumption of certain mining processes, particularly Bitcoins, has raised environmental concerns. Regulatory frameworks around the globe are still evolving, creating uncertainty for businesses and individuals alike. It's a landscape ripe with both incredible promise and significant challenges, a frontier where the rules are still being written. Scams and fraudulent projects, unfortunately, have also found fertile ground in this new space, highlighting the importance of caution and education. Despite these hurdles, cryptocurrency continues its relentless march forward. It's empowering individuals in countries with unstable economies, offering a lifeline to those without access to traditional banking services. It's enabling faster, cheaper cross-border payments, bypassing legacy systems. It's sparking debates about the future of finance, the nature of money, and the very definition of trust in a digital age. Cryptocurrency is not merely about digital coins. It's an ongoing experiment in decentralization, a bold reimagining of how we can build more transparent, equitable, and resilient systems for the future. It's a continuous unfolding story, still in its early chapters, with an ending yet to be written.